Hello. Hello, replay people. So I'm trying to do things a little bit differently today. And it's not that I've discovered this, I knew it always existed. I just never used it on my show before. And I'm thinking, let's try it out. So no, I'm not at the beach. I'm not at Lake Okeechobee. I was yesterday, and you were with me. But this is a picture I took. And this is a warning, alligators and snakes in the area. So, hi, Jasmine, welcome. Hi, Bo. Hey, Bo, you said bye again. What is that? What is going on with your chat? It's so weird. Yeah. We are in the throes of technological uncertainties. Let's call it that. You see, you said hi to Jasmine. That's right. See you later, alligator. Hi, Fred. I know. Why is it messed up? By the way, you guys, Bo comes on and she says bye, but she said she's not saying that. So it's so weird. And she's not leaving. Hello, Gretchen. Hello, everybody. Just waiting for some people come on because President Trump is live right now. And I wanted to do the whole thing, of course. I haven't seen what he has to say, but hey, solar eclipse. Oh, new chicks, new chicks. It's the time for the babies. The chickens and the ducks are all hatching right now. Jasmine, are you okay now? You know, we miss you when you're not here. So tell us if there's anything we need to pray for in particular. Do I look like a Trump supporter? If you're not a Trump supporter, I have to wonder what you're doing, honestly. I don't think World War III is starting. I think World War III has ended before it even had a chance to begin. I think that our President Trump, the whole world should thank him because he just made the whole world a whole lot safer by getting rid of people who, did you know that the Iranians have been raised since little children to chant death to America? That's what they learn in school. And President Trump has disabled this regime to the point of where they're not going to create problems for the world anymore. And I think it's such a great day that we live in this new reality. Yeah. Well, it's funny, Obs, because if you've been watching me for any amount of time, you know that I am America first. I'm a MAGA patriot, and I respect and adore President Trump. More and more each day, actually. And if you hate him, but you love me, then maybe you need to reconsider your thoughts of how much you hate him. Maybe you need to think about it. You know, you can like people and not have to know what. Oh, thank you, Timothy. See, Timothy shows us all. Let me show you what Timothy says. He thinks I look retarded, but that's great. That's great. I'm quite the opposite of that. But and you guys don't have to don't hide these people from us because I think right now we need to actually see what they have to say and the kinds of things that they say to people. What policy has Trump implemented that helps the working class and not billionaires? Well, I would say he took out that last illegitimate regime. You know, the last 4 years were run by people who were actually working for billionaires. The last regime was a group of people who, as I recall, Kamala Harris inherited $1 billion in order to run for president and still couldn't pull it off. And where did the $1 billion go? Poof, like magic. just gone. In fact, she went into debt, if I recall. So, you want to talk about billionaires? We'll talk about billionaires. Thank you, Jack. Anyway, my mods are hard at work. There are alligators and snakes in the area. So, me just putting Trump in my description of this video is going to bring out all the crazy people, all the people who just really hate President Trump for absolutely no reason. So, and Linda gives a very good point here. You have to assist billionaires too, because they're the ones who give jobs. Did you ever get a job from a poor person? I'll bet you didn't. So anyway, and great point, Bo, is that we do have teenagers watching on the Beach Report. We actually have our teen group, so which Jasmine is the president of our teen club. So I want everybody to see the horrible people who come on and say nasty things to me and my supporters and my fellow patriots. So yeah. Yes, blind, really, you think I'm blind. Well, you liked watching me so far, and for some reason you're still here, but you're gonna call me blind now. Really? Really? The last 4 years and you're gonna call me blind? We're laughing at you people who don't understand what's at stake. Actually, it isn't even funny. It's kind of pathetic that you hate the one person who's making the whole world a better place. And that said, all right, so you see my green screen situation here. It's pretty cool. And something that I actually really love is that when I turn it around, you're going to see President Trump also in Lake Okeechobee. So I think that's kind of fun. And if you guys don't like it, I'll turn it off. But I'm kind of getting a kick out of it because, you know, it's one thing to see President Trump at the White House like we always do, but to have him actually hanging out over Lake Okeechobee, I think it's pretty cool. All right, let me start what's going on. This is an ongoing presentation right now. I believe it's Medal of Honor. And President Trump is live, but this is the beginning of it. This is a blessing. Let's listen.
Ceremony. Almighty God, your steady hand has guided this republic for nearly 250 years. From its birth in the wilderness to this very hour,
it looks kind of weird.
We come to you now with grateful hearts. We assemble here today to honor men who, when the test came, were steadfast and unmovable. We thank you for the unyielding conviction of Master Sergeant Roderick Edmonds, who looked evil in the eyes and did not flinch. And we thank you for the battlefield grit of Command Sergeant Major Terry Richardson, courage that saved lives in Vietnam and courage that stands before us today. And Lord, we thank you for Staff Sergeant Michael Allis, who, in a final selfless act, made his own body a shield for a friend. Bless the family and friends of these great men of honor, O Lord, and forbid that we leave this place as mere admirers of their heroic deeds. Plant in our hearts a measure of their courage, that we might prove worthy of the freedom for which they and generations before them defended. Lord, now let the light of liberty continue to shine on our great nation. We pray in the strong name of the one who guides us. This will defend. Amen.
Amen. I wanted you guys to hear that prayer. We all need to pray. It's the most important thing we can do.
Thank you very much, Chaplain Green. Wonderful job. Appreciate it. And thank everybody for being here, and please feel free to sit. So before we begin this important ceremony, and there's no ceremony that can be much more important than this, let me provide a brief update on Operation Epic Fury. Today, the United States military continues to carry out large-scale combat operations in Iran to eliminate the grave threats posed to America by this terrible terrorist regime. Following our obliteration of Iran's nuclear program in Operation Midnight Hammer a short while ago, we warned Iran not to make any attempt to rebuild at a different location because they were unable to use the ones that we so powerfully blew up. But they ignored those warnings and refused to cease their pursuit of nuclear weapons. In addition, the regime's conventional ballistic missile program was growing rapidly and dramatically, and this posed a very clear, colossal threat to America and our forces stationed overseas. The regime already had missiles capable of hitting Europe and our bases, both local and overseas, and would soon have had missiles capable of reaching our beautiful America. The purpose of this fast-growing missile program was to shield their nuclear weapon development and make it extraordinarily difficult for anyone to stop them from making these highly forbidden by us nuclear weapons. We were the ones that were complaining. We were the ones that wanted it stopped, but everybody was behind us. They just didn't have the courage to say so. An Iranian regime armed with long-range missiles and nuclear weapons would be an intolerable threat to the Middle East, but also to the American people. Our country itself would be under threat, and it was very nearly under threat. I was very proud to have knocked out the Iran nuclear deal by President Barack Hussein Obama. That was a horrible, horrible, dangerous document. They would have had nuclear weapons 3 years ago, and they would have used them. But I'll not let that happen. For almost 47 years, this regime has been attacking the United States and killing Americans. Every time you see someone with missing arms and legs or a face that's been absolutely shattered violently, it was almost certainly caused by an Iran roadside bomb. They were put there by General Soleimani, who was the father of the roadside bomb. Very proudly, he thought, but I terminated him in my first term. This was our last best chance to strike what we're doing right now and eliminate the intolerable threats posed by this sick and sinister regime. And they are indeed sick and sinister. Our objectives are clear. First, we're destroying Iran's missile capabilities, and you see that happening on an hourly basis, and their capacity to produce brand new ones, and pretty good ones they make. Second, we're annihilating their navy. We've knocked out already 10 ships. They're at the bottom of the sea. Third, we're ensuring that the world's #1 sponsor of terror can never obtain a nuclear weapon. Never going to have a nuclear weapon. I said that from the beginning. They're never going to have a nuclear weapon. They were on the road to getting one legitimately through a deal that was signed foolishly by our country. And finally, we're ensuring that the Iranian regime cannot continue to arm, fund, and direct terrorist armies outside of their borders. And we thought we had a deal, but then they backed out. And they came back, and we thought we had a deal, and they backed out. I said, you can't deal with these people. You got to do it the right way. Today, we grieve for the 4 heroic American service members who have been killed in action and send our love and support to their families. In their memory, we continue this mission with ferocious, unyielding resolve to crush the threat this terrorist regime poses to the American people, and a threat indeed it is. We have the strongest and most powerful by far military in the world, and we will easily prevail. We're already substantially ahead of our time projections, but whatever the time is, it's okay. Whatever it takes, we will always, and we have right from the beginning, we projected 4 to 5 weeks, but we have capability to go far longer than that. We'll do it. Whatever somebody said today, they said, oh, well, if the president wants to do it really quickly, after that, he'll get bored. I don't get bored. There's nothing boring about this. Do you agree with that, Pete? I don't think there's anything, Mr. General. I think there's nothing boring about it. Somebody actually said from the media, I think you'll get bored after about a week or two. No, we don't get bored. I never get bored. If I got bored, I wouldn't be standing here right now. I guarantee you that. To go through what I had to go through. We also projected 4 weeks to terminate the military leadership, and as you know, that was done in about an hour, so we're ahead of schedule there by a lot. But please join me in thanking every American service member who bravely is standing in harm's way. They really are incredible, and I just want to thank you. We have a lot of them right here. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. We have a lot of great service members here with us too in this beautiful building. Isn't it beautiful? We're adding on to the building a little bit. We're improving the building. See that nice drape? When that comes down right now, you see a very, very deep hole. But in about a year and a half from now, you're going to see a very, very beautiful building. And there's your entrance to it right there. In fact, it looks so nice, I think I'll save money on the doors because it can't get more beautiful than that. I picked those drapes in my first term. I always like gold, but I think we can save a lot of money. I just saved curtains, but and it'll be spectacular. It'll be the most beautiful ballroom. I believe it because I built many a ballroom. I believe it's going to be the most beautiful ballroom anywhere in the world. And when you hear all that hammering out there, you know why the First Lady is not thrilled exactly. She said, will the pile drivers ever stop? You know, they go from 6 in the morning till 11:30 in the evening. Can you imagine? Here. You know what? To me, that's a beautiful sound. She doesn't like it. I love it. You know what? To me, other than here, because we're donating it, not a penny to the taxpayer. It'll be under budget, ahead of schedule. It'll be 400 million or less. Most people say 400 million or more. No, it'll be less. But when I hear that sound, that beautiful sound behind me, it means money, so I like it. But my wife isn't thrilled. She said, this is getting crazy. I said, don't worry about it. We'll be all finished up in a few months. But now for the reason that we're gathered this morning to recognize the unsurpassed courage of 3 really incredible American heroes, 1 living and 2 no longer with us. So together, we recognize the exceptional valor of Master Sergeant Roderick Edmonds. And maybe I could ask your families to stand because they're beautiful families. I got to meet them, and please. So Staff Sergeant Michael Ollis and Command Sergeant Major Terry Richardson, as they receive our nation's highest military award, the Congressional Medal of Honor. And we're pleased to be joined by Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. He's busy, very busy guy. In fact, I said, if you want, Pete, you can avoid it. General Raisin Kane also, and they said, we don't avoid this one. This is one you wouldn't avoid for anything, right? So we appreciate that you're here. Secretary of Veterans Affairs, who's doing an incredible job, Veterans Affairs, Doug Collins. Doug, thank you. You stand up, Doug. You're doing such a good job. 92% approval rating.
92% approval
Chairman
rating.
of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Kane, who's known as Raisin Kane. I liked him when I heard that name, Raisin Kane. I said, if it's true, you're my guy. And it's true. It just turned out it's very true. He's a great guy and a great general. Secretary of the Army, Dan Driscoll, and Army Chief of Staff, Randy George. Thank you. Thank you both, Dan. As well as Senators Tom Cotton, Bill Hagerty. You guys were great on television this weekend. I'll tell you what, can't have a better representative than both of you. Thank you very much. And Representatives Tim Burchett, Jack Bergman, and Nicole Maliotakis. So we have a few others sitting here, but I'm not going to go through it because we have far more important people to honor today. Oh, we have Tom Homan. I got to at least mention Tom Homan. I would be a stand-up, Tom. What a job. Zero people coming in. We had millions and millions of people pouring into our country. Now that, I mean, I'm not even sure I can believe this number is zero, but it is given out by Democrats. Democrats from the last, and they're rated for the last 9 months. We had zero people come illegally through our border, right, Tom? So I want to thank you very much. And I also want to salute 6 former Medal of Honor recipients: William Swenson, Jim McClellan, Walter Marm, Thomas Paine, Sammy Davis. That's an interesting guy. Where is Sammy Davis? We have a big story here, Sammy. You've heard that all your life, I'll bet, huh? And Edward Byers. Stand up, please. You all look good. You all look good. We remember the ceremonies. Oh, great. It's a great honor. There's no greater. I tried for myself. I've tried numerous times to get one by myself. I keep getting shut down. They say, you can't do it, sir. Bad protocol. Very bad. I would say the worst. But I'm only kidding. You don't have to say I'm only kidding. Otherwise, the press will come out with it, which they actually did one. Donald Trump wants a Congressional Medal of Honor, but he's been shut down. But now you are brave, amazing people. And I want to thank you all. In 1941, Roddy Edmonds of Knoxville, Tennessee, enlisted in the U.S. Army and soon rose to one of the youngest master sergeants in the military. In 1944, he sailed to Europe to fight in World War II, and he was so enthusiastic and young and full of vim and vigor. Roddy soon found himself on the front lines of the Battle of the Bulge. That was a big one. Massively outnumbered by enemy forces, his 1,200 soldier unit fought valiantly until they were completely overrun. The force was massive on the other side, many times number. After a 4-day death march, one that was covered very well by the history books, through bitter cold, they were put into a German POW camp. Roddy was the top-ranking infantryman in the camp. He was number 1, meaning he was responsible for the lives of his fellow service members. On July 26, 1945, a Nazi SS officer issued an order over the camp loudspeaker, loud and strong. He said that only American Jews were to show up to roll call following this morning. He added, all who disobey this order will be shot immediately. There were more than 200 Jewish American soldiers in the camp, and Roddy knew their separation from the group would mean certain death. So that night he summoned his team and devised a plan. The next morning, all 1,200 American men fell in line together, shoulder to shoulder. Enraged, the Nazi commandant rushed forward, drew his Luger pistol, and pressed the barrel between Sergeant Edmonds' eyes. He barked at Roddy. They cannot all be Jews, he screamed loud and again, and staring straight back into the raging face of evil, Sergeant Edmonds replied fearlessly, we are all Jews here. The Nazi officer lowered his weapon and the soldiers erupted in cheers. With total disregard for his own life, Roddy had saved over 200 of his fellow service members. Their camp was liberated 2 months later. We're honored to be joined today by Roddy's son, Chris. Please stand up as Thank you, Chris. Today, your father gets the honor he so courageously earned. And really amazing, right? It's an amazing story. Congratulations to the family of Master Sergeant Roddy Edmonds. The next 2 we recognize today served in the 1st Battalion, 28th Infantry Regiment of the 1st Infantry Division, better known as Big Red 1. Do you know about that, Pete? Right? Command Sergeant Major Terry Richardson, we are honored to have you with us. On September 12th, 1968, 102 brave men of Terry's Alpha Company were asked with securing Hill 222 deep behind the enemy's line in Vietnam. They didn't know it at the time, had no idea, but the area was totally infested with nearly 300 enemy bunkers and many, many enemy soldiers, far outnumbering them by at least 4, 5, even 6 to 1. As Terry led Lima platoon up Hill 222, the enemy launched an ambitious and violent attack, unleashing a withering fire of machine guns and rocket-propelled grenades. Just didn't stop, just kept coming. Pinned down in hell on earth, Terry summoned unimaginable courage. 3 times he exposed himself to enemy fire to rescue severely wounded comrades, and 3 times he dragged them back to the group. Terry soon realized that the 82 remaining men had one chance of survival. That was air support. Acting without regard of his own life, he grabbed a radio and charged up Hill 222 alone. He needed to be there. It was the only place he'd get reception. He withstood a storm of enemy bullets, eventually reaching the top, where he spent the next 8 hours calling in tactical strikes, completely exposed. An hour in, an enemy sniper shot rang out and the bullet tore through his right leg violently. He was in bad shape, but Terry disregarded that and pushed through. And after 7 more hours of calling in American fire from above, the enemy retreated. Later that day, his team found him with both eardrums totally ruptured and a mangled right leg and foot, but still barely living, but living nevertheless. Due to Terry's actions above and beyond the call of duty, 82 men, Alpha Company, survived this battle, including 2 in this room, Norm Meyer and Dave Himmer. Where are you? Do you want to stand up, Norm and Dave? Where's Norm and Dave? That's pretty cool. Pretty good. And that score is 100% correct, isn't it? Huh? See, pretty. It's how much have you paid him over the years? Have you said take everything we have? We wouldn't be here, right? That's great. That's a great story, Terry. Today you enter the ranks of the bravest warriors ever to stride the face of the earth. Please stand up, please. Thank you.
I love how President Trump honors everybody and makes sure everybody who is a hero is called to
That's a
attention.
great, brave man. I met him back there. He said, he's central casting. Look at him. He looks great. He looks great. You feel like fighting? I think we could take him today. What do you think, Pete? We'll make a little deal with him, as you are a brave man. Finally, we honor one more American soldier, a fallen warrior of wars, and really, a really terror. Staff Sergeant Michael Hollis, born in 1988 on Staten Island. Michael grew up seeing the World Trade Center across the bay. I know Staten Island so well. The people on Staten Island are amazing. After 9/11, Michael enlisted in the Army, and by 24 years old, he was locked in. He loved it. He wanted it so badly. He was a squad leader serving in Afghanistan with the 2nd Battalion, 22nd Infantry Regiment, 1st Brigade Combat Team of the legendary 10th Mountain Division. On August 28, 2013, terrorists detonated a 400-pound car bomb on the east wall of the forward operating base, Ganzi, ripping open a 60-foot wide breach into a compound that housed NATO coalition forces, a lot of them. 10 Taliban fighters wearing suicide vests swarmed through. From across the compound, Michael saw the pillar of white smoke rising and ran to join the fight, rushing without his gear, wearing almost no gear, no Kevlar helmet, no body armor, just one magazine in his rifle. Along the way, he encountered a Polish soldier, and together they advanced under heavy fire, very, very heavy fire. At one point, shrapnel ripped through the Polish soldier's legs, rendering him unable to walk, very, very severely hurt. In that chaos of gunfire, explosions, and charred human remains, a terrorist insurgent appeared, rounding a corner with his suicide vest fully armed, and you could see it was going to happen. He charged the wounded Polish soldier without hesitation. Michael raised his gun and forced himself between the insurgent and the man he just met, shielding him with his own body. He knew it was going to happen. He shielded him with his own body. You know, bravery's amazing. You never really know who's brave, who's not until they're really tested. We think some people are brave, Pete, and they're not. We think others aren't, and they are. You never know. But he was tested. That's called the ultimate test, right? And at perhaps his final heartbeat, Michael fired his weapon, and the terrorist detonated his vest simultaneously. Staff Sergeant Ollis was killed just weeks before his 25th birthday, and nobody was any more brave than that. In his final act on earth, Michael absorbed the blast, sparing the life of that Polish warrior, who we are grateful to have in the room with us today, Second Lieutenant Carol Serpica. Carol Serpica. Where are you, Carol? Hey. Would you like to come up? Please. Please. I'd love to have you come up. Thank you, Carol.
Mr. President, Minister of War, my Minister Polish of National Defense, distinguished guests, everyone gathered here today, dear my Basia, Michael, and Jacob, especially dear Linda and Robert, and the entire Ollis family. What do you have that you did not receive? This is how I would like to begin these few words, to speak to you all here.
Listen
In this
closely.
special place and on occasion of this incredibly important ceremony, one that is significant for many, but truly especially exceptional for me, is a particular privilege and a great honor. Above all, however, it is my commitment. It is a part of my new mission, which began 13 years ago. A soldier is not something you are from time to time. It is who you are forever. It is just like you are not a mother, a father, a sister, and brother, or as only for a moment. These are not roles given to us for a while. They are a great gift, but also a great lifelong commitment. Yes, today my commitment and my greatest gift is to cultivate the memory of true, heroic act of courage that I witnessed performed by your beloved son, Michael. Please forgive me if my words have not fully captured what I truly feel today. However, sometimes words are simply not enough. I'm deeply moved, happy, and grateful to God for my service, for my parents, for my family, for my beloved homeland Poland, for my second family from Staten Island, and for my second homeland America. God bless you all. Michael, thank you for your service, and I will see you in our heavenly homeland. Thank you for your service. Thank you so much.
Thank God for that, Robert.
And Carol is joined by his wife and their two wonderful sons, Jacob and Michael. Michael is named after the American hero who saved his father's life. So stand up, Michael. Let me see. Wow. That's great. We're also pleased to be joined by several members of the Polish government, including representatives of the president, who I think is a fantastic man, by the way. I must be honest with you. I endorsed him and he won, and he came from behind, he won, and he was the biggest story in Europe, and he's going to be a great president. He already is. But as well as Poland's Minister of Defense, to honor the blood and sacrifice that has helped seal the Polish-American bond. We have a great bond. We have a great relationship with your country. And I just want to thank you to Michael's parents, Bob and Linda. Your son's selflessness in the face of real evil reminds us of the courage that keeps our country free. And I just said the genetics in that family are very strong, right? I said that before. All three families, I said, good. I see some of the young ones today. And I said, you have good genes. They were asking me, what does that mean? I said, don't worry about it. You'll figure it out. But you have the best genes you can have, actually. So thank you for giving America your beloved son. And now I would like to ask the military aide to come forward and read the citations, and then we will do the honors. Thank you all very much. This is a tremendous honor for me to be here. Thank you. Please, military aide.
Chris Edmonds, accepting on behalf of his father, Master Sergeant Roderick W. Edmonds.
I just saw this comment by Fancy. Nothing makes me wish for the downfall of the U.S. quite like MAGA and Nazis.
March 3rd,
You are the
1863,
sickest.
has posthumously
Sick
awarded
person,
in the
you
name of
Fancy.
Congress the Medal of Honor
That's
to
why
Master Sergeant Roderick W. Edmonds.
we have such a bad
United
time
States
with people
Army.
like you.
Master Sergeant Roderick W. Edmonds distinguished himself by acts of gallantry above and beyond the call of duty from January 27th, 1945 to March 30th, 1945 as a prisoner of war in Germany. Upon arrival at Stalag 9A in Siebenhain,
Reporting
Germany,
Fancy.
on the evening of
What a
January
hater.
26, 1945, the Germans announced that only Jewish American prisoners would fall out for roll call the following morning at the threat of execution. Master Sergeant Edmonds directed his senior leaders to have all 1,200 American prisoners present themselves for roll call. The Nazi commandant became incredulous after realizing that so many Americans were standing in formation. The commandant removed his pistol, pressed it hard against Master Sergeant Edmonds' forehead between his eyes, and demanded that he order all Jewish American prisoners to step forward or he would be shot. Master Sergeant Edmonds fearlessly held his ground, refusing to concede. The commandant lowered his weapon without further attempts to segregate the Jewish American prisoners. Several weeks later, in March 1945, the Germans ordered all prisoners to assemble outside the barracks for evacuation. Master Sergeant Edmonds ordered all American prisoners to form in front of the barracks, and when the enemy transports arrived, they would break ranks and rush back to the barracks. Master Sergeant Edmonds gallantly led these prisoners in a relentless pursuit of opposition and resistance, forcing the Germans to abandon the camp, leaving the 1,200 American prisoners behind. Master Sergeant Edmonds' conspicuous gallantry above and beyond the call of duty are in keeping with the highest traditions of military service and reflect great credit upon himself, his unit, in the United States Army.
Yes, Islam is a scourge of the world. It's worse than communism. You're right, Gretchen.
Command Sergeant Major Terry P. Richardson. The President of the United States of America, authorized by Act of Congress March 3rd, 1863, has awarded in the name of Congress the Medal of Honor to Staff Sergeant Terry P. Richardson, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Terry P. Richardson distinguished himself by acts of gallantry above and beyond the call of duty on September 14th, 1968, in the vicinity of Loc Ninh, Republic of Vietnam. On this date, his company was tasked with the mission of securing Hill 222 in hostile and enemy territory near the Cambodian border. Staff Sergeant Richardson directed one of his squads to be the point element leading the way. Shortly after the assault began, 3 of the squad members became severely wounded and pinned down between 3 enemy machine gun bunkers. Staff Sergeant Richardson advanced forward under heavy enemy fire and recovered his wounded soldiers between heavy machine gun fire. By the time he was able to make it back to join his unit, his entire company had been completely surrounded by the enemy. Staff Sergeant Richardson recognized that the only way to keep his company from being overrun was with accurate tactical airstrikes. Staff Sergeant Richardson advanced to the top of Hill 222 under heavy enemy fire for better sight lines to direct the tactical airstrikes. He began to direct the tactical airstrikes and shortly thereafter became wounded by an enemy sniper. Staff Sergeant Richardson continued directing the tactical airstrikes for 7 more hours before the enemy broke contact. 6 soldiers from his platoon found him still alive. Staff Sergeant Richardson declined medical evaluation for his gunshot wound and requested that he be allowed to stay to lead his soldiers. Altogether, his actions directly resulted in 85 lives being spared on that fateful day. Staff Sergeant Richardson's conspicuous gallantry and extraordinary heroism at the risk of his life, above and beyond the call of duty, are in keeping with the highest traditions of military service and reflect great credit upon himself, his unit, and the United States Army. Robert and Linda Ollis accepting on behalf of their son, Staff Sergeant Michael H. Ollis. The President of the United States of America, authorized by Act of Congress March 3rd, 1863, has posthumously awarded in the name of Congress the Medal of Honor to Staff Sergeant Michael H. Ollis, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Michael H. Ollis distinguished himself by acts of gallantry above and beyond the call of duty on 28 August 2013 in Afghanistan. On this date, a complex enemy attack involving multiple vehicle-borne improvised explosive devices, suicide vests, indirect fire, and small arms fire was launched against Forward Operating Base Hanzi. Staff Sergeant Aulis ordered his fellow soldiers to move to bunkers to shield themselves from enemy fire. After accounting for his soldiers, he moved toward the enemy force that had penetrated the perimeter of the Forward Operating Base. Staff Sergeant Aulis located a coalition forces officer, and together they moved toward the point of attack, armed with only their rifles. Upon reaching the attack point, they linked up with other friendly forces and began a coordinated effort to repulse the enemy. While under continuous fire, Staff Sergeant Aulis moved from position to position, engaging the enemy with accurate and effective fire. While fighting along the perimeter, an insurgent came around the corner. Staff Sergeant Aulis fired on the insurgent and incapacitated him, but as he approached the downed insurgent, the insurgent's suicide vest detonated and mortally wounded him. Staff Sergeant Aulis's exceptional courage and complete disregard for personal safety were in keeping with the highest traditions of military service and reflect great credit upon him, his unit in the United States Army.
Ladies and gentlemen, please bow with me as we give the benediction. Eternal God, our unfailing light in every darkness, the rock on which we stand, as we depart this place of honor, may the courage of these heroes be our example, righteousness our choice, and hope in you our guiding light. We especially ask for your protection over our military service members who are protecting the interests of our nation at this very moment. And Heavenly Father, grant us the will to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly before you. In your holy name we pray. This we'll defend. Amen.
Okay. Wait, let me get my green screen back. Thank you, Moon. Thank you. Wait, gotta get my green screen back. Hold on. How do I do that again? I think it's so much more fun, right? And I love the alligators and snakes in the area. I took that picture yesterday. So that is actually what Lake Okeechobee looks like. That's what it looked like yesterday. So it probably looks like that today. So welcome everybody to today's beach report, where I did want to show you guys President Trump giving the Medal of Honor to very deserving individuals. And I see Brittany's been having a problem in the chat. Brittany, we love America here. And you want to talk about ICE. Well, ICE is to protect us from the people who break into our country and use us and abuse us and have actually killed many of us. So Robert loves eating mud lizards fried. You know what? That's so funny, Robert, because every time I go to places like Lake Okeechobee full of alligators, everyone's always worried about me. And I'm like, well, I have eaten alligator. So I'm thinking maybe the alligators should be afraid of me. And Alice is right. Alligator snake boots, you know, so I'm thinking they need to be scared of me. But anyway, we do try to be cordial towards each other on the Beach Report chat. And I have many moderators because not everybody is cordial or even kind. And some people hate President Trump so much that it makes them say horrible things. Like there was someone on here earlier, Fancy. Fancy might still be watching. I don't know. Fancy's not allowed to talk anymore. But Fancy actually said the quiet part out loud. Fancy said, I would rather see, so something to the effect, you guys saw it, something like, I hate Trump so much that I'd rather see the destruction of America than see Trump. I mean, is that how you guys feel? You just hate him so much that you just by any means, let's just be nasty. So, and speaking of ICE enforcement, every country enforces their border laws. Every country. And Pooh never met me before, but says I have a passive aggressive smile. That's interesting. Never heard of that. Anyway, it's so funny the things you guys say to people you don't even know. Yeah. I think that one of the reasons that people get so deranged about President Trump is, first of all, the propaganda is just nonstop. I have been watching interviews lately where people like, I don't know, maybe I'm trying to remember who I heard talking. Might have been Hegseth. I don't know, but they are just dismantling these. The media pundits are so full of hatred. I can't remember who it was who just took down Dana Bash the other day. What a name, Bash, because she bashes everybody. Hey, Michael. Michael's right. They're short-sighted and they don't see the big picture. Thank you, Alice. It's my new hat. I just got it. My friend Debbie gave it to me after I helped her move. When you help people move, you know, you almost always get stuff. Brittany does agree with ICE and wants Trump to install more training and make them more like police officers instead of picking people off the street. They're not, Brittany. You know, you need to stop with the racism, okay? That is a big problem for people who see racism everywhere. You break into our country has nothing to do with the color of your skin. So please stop talking about it like it's that important. You know, I go out in the sun every single day and I turn a very beautiful shade of brown myself. Does that mean that it makes me a different person? I mean, it's just so silly. You need to stop talking about people's skin color. It doesn't make any sense. You know, you're trying to attribute character to appearance. And it's just not right. And you see people come on my show and they say all sorts of stuff about the way I look. I look old, or I look like a Jew. I am a Jew, by the way. I'm a Messianic Jew, but I am a Jew. But you can say whatever you want about me. I really don't care, because what I look like has absolutely nothing to do with who I am inside. So, in the dark, we are the same color. I'm so glad you're here, Michael. I have some of the most wonderful people following me. So if you are here on the Beach Report and you want to argue with these people, you know what? It's okay, because these people will be kind to you. And then we have people come on and just say the most disgusting things, like this Muff Man person. You know, I would. Although, you know what, Muff Man, I actually get to show what you just said. He says he sends his butthole for extra energy. You know what? Some people do that. So I'm not gonna say that's a bad comment, because it might actually be true. Because I do believe in light therapy, also called phototherapy. Thank you, Robert. And you guys might even see Joyce. You flag it? What? Because we love the flag? Okay. All right. You know, I really don't care what they say. Women profess that their fashion choices and makeup is expressing themselves. I'm a woman and y'all confuse the F out of me. Y'all wacko. Okay. All right, Zealot. Well, you're right. the way that you dress definitely does express yourself, but you really can't change the color of your skin. Although I do in the sun, but you know, in general, y'all can peg me for a little white girl, you know. But honestly, things that you can't change about yourself, and I guess with plastic surgery, you can change anything. However, yes, the way you present yourself definitely tells everybody who you are and what you think. So, I'm not moving the goalpost. I'm just trying to explain it. There's some things you can't change, some things you shouldn't change, and some things you absolutely can. So, yeah, comparing skin color to clothes is totally crazy. It makes no sense. Anybody anybody who's all focused on the color of somebody's skin, I'm going to say you're a racist. That's all. And Starboy says, thank you to all women for being on Earth, so we men would not be alone. Amen. And you know what? Thank you, Starboy, too, because we also need men. We need men and we need women. So everybody needs to get along. How about that? Thank you, Terry. And Bo doesn't care what people think of her attire, and she doesn't wear makeup, and I have no makeup on as well. I don't like makeup personally. I think it's putting chemicals on your face and skin. You know, your skin is the largest organ in your body, so always be very careful what you put on your skin. That's why I don't wear any SPF sunscreen or anything like that. Just don't. Thank you, Robert, for loving all women. That's nice. Let's see. I'm the opposite of a liberal, Raheem. You clearly have never seen the Beach Report before. It's so funny. Yes, the skin is the largest organ on your body. It is an organ, actually, Pooh. You can check it up. So, man, people are pretty funny. Anyway, oh, okay, now they're telling me I'm a liberal. That's a new one. You know, it's kind of like how when President Trump first started running for president, they all said that I was a Nazi, and I was like, wow, that's a new one, a Jewish Nazi. Yeah, we all became Nazis when we decided to support President Trump. You know, I don't care what you say about me. I care what God thinks about me, not you. You're a stranger. You might not even be a real person. So, yes, please do look it up, Pooh, because the skin, it is an organ. Your skin is very important, actually. And Michael says, stop grinding minerals and chemicals into your skin. Yep. It is so important, more than you know. Nobody's getting personal on you, Brittany. Nobody's trying to attack you. We're trying to have a discussion with you. If you have any questions, go right ahead. So, yeah. Come to East Texas. We'll go fishing right now. That sounds really good, Robert. Oh. And I will come to Texas, actually. I have fans in Texas who have become like family to me. So anyway, it is very sad that people choose this hill to die on when they hate President Trump so much that they want our country to fail over it. We know that you're not very serious. Why would anyone think I would know Charles Manson? That's so weird. I think Pooh might actually be a bot or something, or not right in the head. Yes, smiles are free. Exactly, Vicky. Exactly. Oh, I love it when they say that we're in a cult. Okay, Joey, that's right. Whatever you think is probably the truth. Oh boy, the Straits of Hormuz is closed. JP Morgan is warning oil could double in price. I think that's probably not going to happen. I think everything will be okay. Give it a little bit of time because, like Joe, Trump is my boy too. And I think he knows what he's doing more than anyone else ever knew what they were doing. Do you realize that we have spent something like almost the last 50 years in abject fear of the Iranian mullahs who chant death to America and try to make nuclear bombs, okay? For the nearly 50 years, we have been in fear of these people. And finally, we have a president who says enough is enough and take these people out and stop them from threatening the entire world. So I think it's wonderful. I think President Trump is doing the right thing, whatever you might think about the Middle East. And I am not an expert on the Middle East, so I won't pretend to be. But all I know is my lived life experience as a Jew and as having turned 60 this year, I have seen a lot of history for my own eyes. And what I've always noticed is that the mullahs in Iran, the Shah of Iran. Iran has always been a very threatening, dangerous regime. And I have a very good friend from Iran, and she lives in America. And I actually congratulated her this morning, but since she's in California, I think she maybe didn't see it yet. Anyway, the people of Iran are so happy right now. So if you really hate President Trump and you think he just did something awful by killing all those America Israel haters, and you know they chant death to first death to Israel and then death to America. So by taking out the mullahs, these very dangerous people, they've actually made the whole world a lot safer. So it's a wonderful thing that's just happened. And if you're unhappy about it because you live too good of a life in America, then that's a shame. But you'll see, you'll see. Every day I wake up to see what is President Trump going to do to make the world better next. It's Joyce saying. He talks a little too long sometimes if you've heard him a lot, but there's always new listeners. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I don't care anything about Israel, gawk, nothing at all. I don't live in Israel. I'm not Israeli. Whatever happens there happens. I have friends who are Israeli, but I really don't have any skin in the game on Israel. I'm an American girl. I'm a patriot, and I definitely want to see my country be a better place. And one of the great things about what President Trump has done is he has made my country a safer place. So you want me to say one bad thing about Trump? Well, that's too bad for you because I don't talk badly about people, especially when they're trying to save the world. So you're barking up the wrong tree. There's plenty of people here who will say bad things about Trump, and most of them won't even be true. So you guys can go ahead with your negativity. I'm not going to play that game. Let's see. Starmer has joined party at last. Embarrassment to England. Yeah, I know. England next. And I want Trump to do Cuba next. That's my husband who passed away 3 years ago was Cuban. And if he were here today, I know he'd be jumping up and down with joy. I know he would have been so excited about Venezuela. And I know that he would also want to see Cuba next. So let's see what happens in the world, because when President Trump makes all of the countries around us a safer place, then that makes America a safer place. And maybe all these people who broke into our country looking for a better life, thank you, cowboy. Those people will now see you're the best. I love when you do that, cowboys. But maybe people will see that we did need President Trump, because all of the and cowboys all of the presidents prior to Trump, I'm sorry, but they were pussies. I'm just I get a call and it ruins my whole feed. Can you guys hear me? Can you see me? These things happen. Anyway, people are so rude. Do you talk this way to people that you just see on the street? Or is it because you're on your sofa behind a keyboard that you feel you can be a rude person? I don't know. Anyway. Hey, Danny boy. Thank you. Thank you. So, prior to Trump, people could have the egg thing, really? You're going to die on that hill? Oh my gosh. Before Trump came into office, I remember eggs, just a thing of 12 eggs was costing like $10. And now the price is back down to something like 3. So are you guys having trouble hearing me? Is the sound really bad, or is it just bad for DJ? Oh, that might just be you, DJ. Everybody else has to give me feedback on this. How is the sound? Can you hear me? Oh, it's bad. Okay. And I love people who say I'm on drugs. Really? Do I really look like a... You know that meth ruins your teeth, right? Yeah, if I was on meth, I don't think I'd have these beautiful teeth. Actually, I might not have them for long because I do grind my teeth and I lost this one, so that's sad, but these are real teeth. And that's pretty cool if I haven't blinked once. I'm pretty good. I didn't buy this hat, it was a gift. Jason thinks I'm disgusting. All right. Well, yeah, if they're fake, then why would I get one missing if they were fake? Think about what you're saying. You guys are a little stupid. So, oh yes, I have such a lack of intelligence that I wrote and published 2 books by myself because only stupid people do things like that. Yes, fake teeth don't usually come with one missing. That's not the way fake teeth work. So if you want to say my teeth are fake, I'm actually kind of glad that this one is missing so I can prove it to you immediately. They're as real as they can be. Actually, I'm worried about them because that's my moneymaker. Anyway, yeah, it's really so easy to write a book. I think y'all should do it. Just do it. Just write a book and publish it yourself. Tell me how long that takes you. Tell me how easy it is, okay? Um all right, anyway, the chat's getting ridiculous with the crazy people are out and the bots are woo. Oh, yeah. You know what, Brittany? This is my show, so I can talk about myself. I can do whatever I want. It's my party, and I'll cry if I want to. Cry if I want to. Cry if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you. If you think I didn't sell any books, then why don't you talk to all the people on the show right now who have bought my books and who've been watching me for the past 10 years because they love my books, they love my journalism, and they love what I do. So I really don't care. Thank you for saying I can sing. The haters like to tell me I can't, but I like to sing. I'm not that good at it, but I do love it. Anyway, I've had about enough of these stupid questions. So I'm going to say ciao for now. I tried to give you a service and let you listen to President Trump on my show. If you didn't like that, then don't come back. You're really not needed. I know who loves me, and I know Cowboys loves me. You're the best, Cowboys. Thank you. I have no job in the government. I am an independent one-woman show. I do everything myself. And for all you couch surfers, all you keyboard warriors, I dare you to stand in front of a camera like I do every single day of my life and talk to people. I dare you to try to do it. Yep, there's Bo. Bo bought a book. Lots of people on here bought books from me because I'm the real deal. And it's kind of sad that people are thinking everybody's fake. But anybody who watches the Beach Report knows for sure that Jill is the real deal. So I don't have to be fake. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to say ciao for now. Although it is fake that I'm standing in front of Lake Okeechobee. I'm really not. I'm using a green screen. This is the first time I've ever done it. And I think it's pretty cool. What do you guys think? All right, Danny, thank you. Yeah, they did say they bought it, Martin. You didn't see them. So you can scroll back and see the people who bought the book. But I really don't care what you think because you clearly don't have the facts. And I do. Yeah, they did. Anyway, I am going to say ciao for now. And I've just had enough of you nasty, nasty people. I love you, Gretchen. And how do I have a big members group if I'm such a non-writer, if I'm a fake writer? Oh, wait a minute. Austin, you are now a mod. Thank you. You're a mod. I love you. I love my mods, actually. They keep me safe in the chat, and they keep you guys safe, too. So we're going to say ciao for now, and we'll see you on the next Beach Report. Of all you haters, too, you'll come back as well. I don't know why, but you always do. All right, you guys. Ciao for now. Austin, I'll see you on the next Beach Report. You might have a lot of work to do. All right. Bye, guys.